Yo, what's up, Smoke?
Not shit. Sounds like you're having a good time over there.
Yeah, what about you?
Yeah,
You
not.
got a
What's up?
you got a nice cold can of whoop ass ready?
I do. I got a little mixed drink going on. Some Fanta, some vodka. Little personal favorite.
Well, I just opened up 2 cans of I wouldn't even call it whoop ass, honestly. It's just some Deer Park sparkling water.
Yeah, that's some whoop ass if you like some deers. Speaking of deers, I know someone that would take some deers off your hands.
Yeah, dude. So why don't we just talk about like what we're about to dive into? And oh my god, it's interesting, but a clusterfuck at the same time.
It's crazy, man. Everyone in the world is talking about it. I mean, it's literally anything anyone's talking about for like the past 2 weeks. I actually just seen something yesterday that, my boy Joe Exotic just got COVID, man. They had to put him in a special unit.
No way.
I'm serious, man. Look it up. I just seen it yesterday. You got to preserve him at all costs, because when he gets out in 20 years, or however long he got put in jail, whatever year that was, it's gonna be crazy.
Man. So I think he's just following suit with Harvey Weinstein. I think he's just like, oh shit, Harvey Weinstein got COVID in jail and he got transferred to a different one. So Joe Exotic was probably like, fuck yeah, I got COVID too.
They probably gave it to him on purpose just to get him out of there.
Dude, he probably snorted a badass line of COVID-19.
I wouldn't doubt it. He probably fed COVID-19 to his tigers.
So
conspiracy theory right there. It wasn't a bat. It was Joe Exotic's tigers that started COVID-19.
I wouldn't doubt it, man. Well, shit, we got a lot to get into. So obviously, guys, what we're talking about is Tiger King, the Netflix exclusive. I don't know if it's exclusively on Netflix, but it's like Netflix special. I think it's like 6 episodes. Today we're reviewing the first episode.
It's actually 7. I want to correct you so no one else comments on it and says that you're wrong.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I'd rather it be you than anyone else. So, okay, it started out, and oh my god, first of all, a quick little synopsis of what it is. Hopefully you've watched this, because obviously all this is going to be spoiler alerts if you haven't watched it, but basically within like the first 2 minutes of the episode, you see this gun-toting, drug-smoking, mullet-wearing gay tiger fanatic, aka Joe Exotic, who is the Tiger King, self-proclaimed Tiger King, and basically this dude has cubs that he breeds and has like his own zoo in Wynwood or whatever, Oklahoma, called the GW Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
And what were your first impressions when like the first 5 minutes of watching this?
The first episode, honestly, I can say I thought it didn't really draw me in. I mean, it had a good plot to it, and everything. I wanted to watch it because I wanted to see what everyone was talking about. I saw the memes and I didn't understand it, but in my opinion, I didn't think the first episode was good. I mean, it gave you a good backstory. The one dude who was recording it, what's his name? Rick, I think.
Yeah, Rick Kirkham.
Rick, dude, speaking of that, he was actually on the sports talk radio station in my town on Monday of this week, actually.
Are you serious? Why didn't you go see him?
Well, no. He was just on the radio. They had him as a host he was a co-host on the show. They just asked him questions and everything about it. I actually didn't listen to it, but I know it happened because I saw him. I listened to the station all the time, and they were talking about it, and they were tweeting about it.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. Why did he what made him come to I mean, I guess he's probably touring to different
Well, they probably just had him on. They probably just asked him some questions, shit like that. He probably wasn't physically in the studio. I think they just had him on the phone. I think that's what it was.
I got you. Well, I'll tell you what. My first impressions when looking at this dude, he's got 8 gauge. Yeah, what's up, Strictly? Strictly Bake in the house.
What's up, guys?
What up? What up?
Chilling, getting into Tiger King.
All those ear piercings he had.
Yeah, I don't know like sizes of gauges, but he had like 8 or 9 fucking earrings, like these, I don't know, stainless steel with like the balls and shit. His face looked like a fucking leather wallet that's been left out on a beach for like 30 years. That combined with crack smoking and meth. But one thing that, and obviously the fucking bleach blonde mullet. What was it? It was,
yeah.
It was like, was it bleach blonde on top and then brown? Like,
I think it was bleached on top. It was brown underneath.
Partying, or business in the front, party in the
Party
back.
in the back.
Bleach on the top.
He turned a straight dude gay, man.
He did.
Better watch out.
I think he turned multiple straight dudes gay because he had
I read online that it said that he was married before Travis and Joe on the show, but they didn't talk about that. I read that online, or I actually read it on Wikipedia, so I don't really know how true that is.
To a guy or to a girl?
He was married to a guy before he got married to Joe and Travis, so he was in a relationship prior to them.
Jesus Christ!
I don't know how true that is. Like I said, it was on Wikipedia. You know, anyone can type shit on there, so it's not really creditable, but I definitely saw it on there.
So so his first husband, or not the one that you're talking about, but on the show, his first husband, his name was John Finlay, and fucking this dude is missing like all of his front teeth. From what I heard, I mentioned this before on an episode we did. I heard from the Danish and O'Neill podcast that the director like told him to not wear his dentures, I guess, to kind of set that, yeah, to sell that shit.
Mad. He actually like came out after it and said like, hey, you know, like they wanted me to like stay like this, you know, like they don't care about us, they just care about views and you know all that jazz.
Yeah, his Joe Exotic's handlebar mustache is pretty crucial too, man. So that's kind of like how he physically looks. You can pretty much just imagine a 30-year-old, well, imagine like a 60-year-old leather wallet with a handlebar mustache, bleach blonde mullet.
And he's got a gun on his hip at all times.
Yeah.
So he's smoking meth with a gun on him.
Dude, I was confused though. Like he had all of his teeth and they were like not bad looking, like, but you know, or at least it feels like he did something, right? Like he had to have done some sort of drug.
Oh, he said that's what he did.
Oh, that he liked meth?
Yeah, I mean they all liked meth, but Travis preferred, or he liked to smoke weed the most. But he said that meth was their drug of choice.
Right. Yeah.
Which I don't know. I've never tried it, so I don't really know.
Right.
Nor do I plan on doing that.
You heard it here first, guys. So don't even try to peer pressure my boy Smoke Blunt into
If you see me smoking meth, just don't let me come back.
Okay, well, the day that I see your RuneScape username change from Smoke Blunt to Smoke Meth,
I'm about to spend a bond right now. I'll do it.
No.
Quit messing around.
Go fast or go home. But yeah, man, this dude, I wish I could post a picture. Luke Mack and I were talking about doing, trying to set up the video element for the podcast tonight, but I think I'm going to try to wake up early tomorrow and work on that because I'm going to try to get, you know, a little rest tonight. But that would be really cool once we do have the video element up so we can, you know, see the desktop and we can show pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be sweet, you know, and then, you know, broaden the audience because then we can actually start, you know, uploading those on YouTube and everything. And, you know, we could even like, you know, I've had like the idea of like how I said we could do like maybe like a like game show type thing, like a, you know, RuneScape questionnaire with a couple people that you've had on the show.
Hell yeah, dude. We could even do like a YouTube live thing where people could be in like, you know how YouTube live has like the chat box?
Yeah.
It'd be some cool stuff.
Something like that. Joe Exotic did that, as you see in the first episode.
Yeah, so he had a podcast. He had like just like Rogan and RuneScape, he had his own although his setup though looks pretty professional with the video.
He had a nice green screen. He had that nice Carole face in the jar. He had the Carole blow up doll.
Yeah, we'll get to who Carole is here in a minute, because that's pretty much like the one of the focus points on the series, and
Fuck
on this
Carole
episode.
Baskin. That's all I gotta say. She did it. She killed her husband. They don't dive in that till episode number 2, so you guys won't hear about that either.
Yeah, they never officially said one way or another,
Allegedly.
but you can pretty much tell just from the way that she talks and looks. I mean, like I said, Carole Baskin's
jokes about it. She's not as serious. You could tell it's a laughing matter to her.
Yeah, we'll get to that though. I want to kind of go in order a little bit so I can set it up a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, yeah, he fucking hates this bitch, and and he takes it to a whole new level. But so yeah, Joe was saying that he loves the attention of being on stage with with these tigers or whatever, and love having people like envy the fact that I guess he had these animals. So it's like a power trip for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
His park was called the Greater Wynwood Tiger Park, GW Tiger Park for short. And this dude was a total salesman. Like they had a gift shop, and like he was just doing some shameless self promo. Like when there was like this tour group around, it's like, don't get too close to tigers. If you do, you might get pissed on. And if you get pissed on, we got t-shirts.
You buy a shirt that says you got pissed on by a tiger.
Show Sean the elegant white tiger king. I couldn't stop thinking about that at work today.
Hey, and he's a country singer, that's even crazier, which, I heard that those weren't even his songs, allegedly.
Yeah,
Someone else's.
I don't know if I'll get sued for editing it in, but his song's called, the song that he lip syncs to allegedly is it's called I Saw a Tiger. And it is so cringeworthy.
Look, you gotta look it up. You gotta listen to it.
Yeah, I Saw a Tiger by Joe Exotic. Maybe I could play a clip later. I don't know.
That's what you should start the show off with, that song. Yeah,
fuck it. I mean,
he's in jail.
It's fair. Yeah.
What? Is Carole going to sue you?
No, if anything, she'll probably pay for that. But I don't think she'll pay now that we like said she allegedly killed her.
Allegedly killed her husband. We're about to be getting sued.
I'm not saying that she did kill her husband. I'm saying she looks like a bitch that would kill. They totally did.
I mean, she basically said the way to do it.
Just the way in her face, the way she talks. But what's the dude's? Oh man, what's the guy's name that had like the long hair? Erik. Cowie.
Yeah, the guy that found it on Craigslist.
Yeah, so he was like, to be honest with you, I was at the end of my rope, and I looked on Craigslist, and I saw a job for feeding tigers, and he was like, fuck it, I'll try it.
I never did that before.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. I ain't never done that before. Could you imagine going on Craigslist looking for like I don't know, like electrician or like a receptionist job, waiting tables or something like that, and then you see tiger feeding?
Dude, that would be like crazy. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, that's scary, but I mean, it's like what they were saying on like the whole show. It's like when you get the experience of playing with like a baby tiger, like a cub, like a monkey or something like that. They're like, that's something you can't put a price on that. There's that one dude who said that he was at the park just on Saturday, and it was on like Monday or something, when they were filming it, and it was like, it's like $200 a person. This guy's going twice in 1 week. I mean, holy shit.
Dude, that guy was cheesing so hard. He looked like such a soft, just doughboy of like made of pudding. Like I mean, bless his heart, like, you know, he loves these tigers, but
Dude, he was loving life, man. He didn't care how. Dude, he said that you could have charged him however much you wanted to charge him, and he said that he would do it.
and it was like what, already $300?
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I mean,
That's probably per person, bro. And he was with his assumingly daughter and his wife.
yeah, you know, that shit ain't cheap. And you know they're only doing that for like an hour or two. That's not an all day affair. You know, they got tours. They got so many people that want to do that in one day. They gotta get that shit over with right away.
God, yeah. It's a cash cow, man, and that's what you learn through this episode. Once you start to watch it, if you haven't seen it before, is you start to realize it's like, okay, these people are like really in it for the money. Like it might have started.
Yeah, they say that they like the animals, but they are 100%. I mean, they're breeding them, they're selling them. You know, Carole works for the Big Cat Rescue, and she has her own little exhibit area herself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get that. She's trying to help the tigers in the wild, but yet she has her own park.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, how is that not fishy? You know, and she's charging people and shit, you know? And she's got GoFundMe pages. She's got all that bullshit. She's got people donating to her, you know, like Joe's getting leftover shit from Walmart, like expired, you know, bologna, feeding that to the tigers, and she's getting, you know, horses and cows and just everything just donated to her. I mean that chick. She really knew how to like just get people to just like feel bad for her, because it's like
100%.
You're doing the same thing he's doing. You're making money as well. You're just, you know, maybe you're not selling the baby cubs, but I did see her there's this picture going around with her and Britney Spears and Doc Antle at the 2001 awards or some shit like that, with that Britney Spears song where they have the tigers in it. Oh yeah, she's sitting right next to Britney Spears in the crowd, dude. I'll have to post it in the Discord for you so you can see it.
Hell yeah, definitely do that.
It's very peculiar.
So okay, all right. So we got John. John was his. Oh no! Wait. John
was the head keeper, the guy with the fake legs.
Yeah, the robo legs. This dude was missing both of his legs, and one had like a evil looking clown art design on it.
Yeah, like some ICP type shit.
Dude, and you know what? Surprisingly, he seemed like the most normal out of all of them.
Dude, he was cool, man. Like, you know, I don't mean to jump ahead, but when they're talking about the court case at the end, you know, I was curious, you know, why didn't he get interviewed on the trial? How come, you know, everyone else did besides him? He was the only worker, I think, that didn't go up there. But maybe he didn't go up there because he was going to be on Joe's side, and maybe, you know, government didn't want him to be on Joe's side. That's why he just said, you know, I'm not going to do that.
That dude was about ready to take a bullet for Joe, literally and figuratively.
He would have, man. I felt like he would have.
Well, there's a part where we'll get into that.
He probably would have sucked Joe's dick too, allegedly. I don't know, but I mean, if I had to guess.
So, all right. So, if you don't think that this show is crazy enough as it is, with the family of misfits that we've already introduced, you know, the gun-toting, meth-smoking, handlebar mustache wearing, bleach blonde mullet, gay Tiger King, and his first. You haven't met his second husband yet.
Yeah, the second husband doesn't get introduced yet.
And
we just get to meet John.
We're primarily, I guess, getting into episode 1. But if you don't think that's crazy enough, and then the dude missing both of his legs, then they introduce this girl named Saf, who's literally cuts to her, and she's like, has a nub, like this crusty, like, I'm not trying to be offensive, but literally they could have put chapstick on the nub or something, because
that shit was ashy, bro. It
was ashy as fuck, bro.
And like, my question is why was she in a junkyard? You know, like, I don't get that. It looked like she was like in a junkyard or something when they kept interviewing her. I don't get that. It didn't look like that was like at the facility. It didn't look like, because, you know, people were at their house when they were getting interviewed throughout the documentary. You know, she was just straight up in the freaking.
Wasn't it a trailer though? I mean,
she was in a junkyard, dude. The dude with the fake legs was in the trailer.
So yeah, she lost her. They didn't talk about how yet, so I'm not gonna get into how exactly she lost her arm and got an ashy nub, but she had an ashy nub. And this was one thing after she talked a little bit that I found funny. If you guys remember, if you've watched it or if you haven't watched it, after they introduced Saf with the ashy nub, you'll remember this, that like one of the next scenes is Joe going around like, you know, talking about the park, and he there's this like girl standing with her boyfriend, and Joe's like talking about how like awesome it is to be the Tiger King or whatever, like, and he like goes up to the girl with her boyfriend and like reaches over like in front of the girl to shake the guy's hand, and the dude shakes his hand like real quick and then like immediately puts his like his arm around his girl and like brings her closer, like like, you know,
he was trying to swoop in, dude.
Yeah, he wasn't having any of that. So I actually laughed at that first and second time when I saw that shit. But Saf was saying that he records everything in the park all day. And yeah, so he had this podcast, which I wonder if we could get in contact with if anyone's I wonder if we could have a swap cast with Jeff, the other dude or whatever. I wonder if we could do a swap cast, have him on Rogan RuneScape, and if we can go on the Tiger King podcast, that'd be pretty sick.
Dude, that'd be cool. I would be down. I mean, hey, if they could get the one dude on the radio station by me, you know, the director of the documentary, then, you know, Rick Kirkham, you know, if they could get him on the radio, I'm sure we could try to get him on the podcast. Be like, yo, you know who Joe Rogan is? Well, you know, we're a sub counterpart of that podcast, but we'd love to have you on.
Yeah,
so we got a couple thousand fans, hopefully a couple thousand. But you know, we're just guessing numbers out here. You know,
it's like, you know, it's like, yeah, we have a podcast. You ever heard of this guy named Joe Rogan? It's like, oh yeah, you're on his podcast. Well, he's kind of on ours, you know. We occasionally review his episodes, but primarily it's RuneScape. But yeah, we want to do a swapcast.
And we would totally love to just hear about like some of those stories, you know, that went on. I mean, you know, he was talking about he had that separate contract with Joe where he could record everything for like his own little mini TV series, like a little Jersey Shore type gig, as long as he was recording the online show for Joe. So that's what he was brought there for. He was brought there to do the online podcast for Joe and help him out with that. But Rick found out how crazy Joe was and everything, and he's just like, yo, man, I'm gonna turn this dude into like, you know, like a day-by-day series. And that's why he started doing that shit every day. He started recording them. And that's when you could tell he started to like change like his persona, like the type of person he was.
Oh, Joe was loving it. Yeah, Rick.
Like Rick gave him all those ideas, you know, like things to do, setting up shit, you know, just I felt like he was doing that for his own personal gain for his little documentary. Like he was basically his pawn, Joe was.
Yeah, and they don't get into it in this first episode, so I try not to give away too many spoilers about the other episodes until we, I guess, get to those reviews. But you do find out in one of the episodes on Tiger King how Rick Kirkham flips things around on Joe and kind of like punks him and, you know, shows him who's boss, sort of. But this is where Carole Baskins gets introduced after, you know, Rick Kirkham kind of comes on the episode and he starts talking about the podcast. Then Rick was like talking about how the entire podcast was like 99% of it was just shitting on Carole Baskins and like animal rights groups.
Mm-hmm.
And so Carole Baskins is this like lady who owns another, like she owns another zoo, but it's like she calls it a sanctuary, like a big cat sanctuary. And what she says that separates the two is that Joe like breeds cubs, and Carole is like, so basically she says Joe is the the problem, and Carole, she's like, we are the help or whatever. Like, we basically, the problem is people breeding cubs, and so we help them by taking these older cats and giving them a place to live until they die. Which okay, I get half of that is probably accurate. Like, that's probably a pretty accurate thing. Like, I agree that people should not be breeding cubs for like fucking tiger cubs to make money, but at the same time, this bitch is lying if you don't think that money is a part of it at all. It's obviously.
And I mean, she's rich. I mean, I don't want to talk about how she gets her money because they talk about that at the end of the episode. The second episode is all about Carole. But I mean, she wasn't even rich until, she met her husband, who she allegedly killed. So, I mean, it's not like she could have done any of this without her husband. So basically her life was nothing until she met her husband, and then that's when she decided she wanted to do the animal rescue. Was when she had all this money and power and control and could actually make a difference, But she did talk about her love of cats and everything growing up prior to meeting Don, her husband that goes missing. That's never found still to this day.
Yeah, you will hear more about that in like some later Tiger King review episodes that we'll do, because they get into that. I don't think they go too deep into it, but yeah, you're exactly right. That's where she gets her money, and that money is the leverage that she has over Joe. But Carole Baskin's like, she I'm not like trying to be ugly, but she literally, her eyes, she looks like fucking Sloth from the Goonies.
Her eyes are pushed into her head, bro.
Bro, they're like pushed in, and also they're further apart than Ohio and Virginia are. Like, her eyes are farther apart than our two states.
And I don't know if you noticed, and if you guys haven't watched the documentary and you're gonna watch it, please look for this. But every time she speaks, she doesn't look at the fucking camera. You could tell she's just like looking through the dude or looking past the camera. Like, she's just not giving it. She's not looking at it. So that's how I could just tell that she doesn't care about anything. She's lying. She doesn't really, you can't really say that she's telling the truth because she's not even looking at you when she's saying it to you.
What about her fucking crazy laugh, dude? I can't even do it, but that was like one of the big indicators, like ding, ding, ding. Okay.
It sounds fake too,
She has the laugh that would make someone think, okay, this person is a crazy cat lady that definitely killed someone, allegedly. Like, her laugh itself is what says that. It's weird. I can't even do it. It's like,
it's like a cackle, man. It sounds like it's almost like fake. It sounds like she's like trying to make herself laugh.
And she has this really weird, soft way of speaking, like you said, of making people feel bad for her. She's like, good morning, big cat people. Today we have saved, or she's like, Freddie has eaten some of his turkey. Like, it's just,
hey, all you cool cats and tigers.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what she says.
Carole here.
Hey, all you cool cats and tigers. Like,
Jesus Christ. I mean, if this girl isn't faking it, I don't know what is. I mean, if this girl loved cats so much, why is she just not buying them to re-release them into the wild? Wouldn't you want them to live out the rest of their life in their natural habitat?
Yeah,
where they can actually learn what they were supposed to do. Like, I mean, it sucks that they're missing out on it the rest of their life, but at least they'll know like what their purpose was.
Yeah, you brought that point up, and that's a really good point. Like, why does she not like take all this money into and instead of like having a petting zoo with these ones in cages, why not, like, I don't know, fucking have just a couple acres of land with a fence? I mean, don't they do that for deer? Don't they have like places where you could go that are like fenced in, like, but it's like huge acres? Like, why couldn't you do the same thing with these tigers and just make it like tall and just don't go in there? Just fucking put deer in there and shit like that.
Yeah, just like how they do, like, I guess big game hunting, but just don't have anyone hunt them. Just have like a big ass like 100-acre area and just release animals in there to feed them, and that's it. Just treat them better than how they would have like treated in like the wild, because you don't know how if they're like, at the zoo or some shit, they may not be able to adapt to like the living out in nature. You know, like they may not be as tough as some of the other cats out there because, you know, they haven't had to fight for their food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at least she could just give them a better life, you know, rather than she still locks them up. And, you know, they show her zoo. It doesn't look like it's kept well.
Mm-mm.
Like it looks like shit.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
Grass is tall. Like at least Doc Antle, which is someone that we'll talk about. He's one of the other he's the third person that has a zoo. His place is immaculate. It's like the most beautiful looking
acres?
place. You know, I mean, it's grass is nice. You know, he's got trees everywhere. It's located in South Carolina, so the weather's nice. You know, it's great land, location, everything like that. Joe's is, you know, kept a little bit nicer, but Carole's is definitely, it looks like it's maintained like the worst.
There's something about the way that Carole walks that, like, the way she holds her arms, it reminds me of Roger, the alien from American Dad. Like, like if you go back and just like see the way she like walks away from the camera and stuff like this with this fake ass smile,
they got like the same eyes, dude.
That too, man. And dude, so her husband calls her the Mother Teresa of cats. Like, yeah, I think my wife is the Mother Teresa of cats. Which, by the way, what a goober! Like her new husband. Like you'll see some of the crazy.
He's cucked.
Yeah, dude, he's the definition of a cuckold.
Dude, I went on the website after I watched the entire documentary series because I wanted to actually like see if Carole actually posted those videos and, you know, everything like that. And Howard is the one that has all the videos posted on there. And they actually have like a lot of things on there right now talking about how they're suing the people like Netflix who made the documentary because they falsified so much information. And they basically are like, they're having people believe that Carole killed her husband, which was not supposed to be one of the things coming from the documentary. You know, like they took that and ran with that.
Yeah.
You know, and so they're suing them right now. So, I mean, that just tells you what type of person that, you know, she is.
Yeah, I mean, fucking money hungry, dude. Like, I mean, I get it.
She can't even face it. Like, she's got Howard saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, she can't even be like, hey, you know, you guys are falsely accusing me. Like, none of that shit. She's just hiding, man. Hiding behind the camera and riding that fucking bike.
Fucking wicked witch of the East. But so yeah, she's got a whole closet filled with cat print clothes. We got about 11 minutes left, so I'm gonna try to run through some of these things. So John Finkley's Joe's first husband said that he met Joe Exotic when he was 1 year out of high school, and fast forward to now, and he's missing all of his teeth. They were talking about, you know, hella meth, and you know, his sexuality, which they'll get into at later episodes. But going back to Joe Exotic's sexuality, at the age of 13, he said he knew he was gay and that his father made him shake his hand in front of his mom and promised that he wouldn't come to his dad's funeral.
Yes, I do remember that part. Which
is pretty, not only is that pretty rough, but that's kind of just like, that's a really weird thing for, like, I mean, like, I'm not promoting this, like saying that Joe Exotic's dad should have like beat him for being gay or send him to a gay camp or just not talk to him. I'm not saying that, but I would think that would be more common than, like, it's just a little odd to just be like, all right, Joe, get in here, shake my hand in front of your mom and say that you'll never come to my funeral. Like, that was just a really, like, it's almost like he was trolling him, but like in a very dark way. So because of that, Joe, when he gets older, drives his car off of a bridge and broke his back, which put him down into Florida, I believe, where he was rehabilitating. And the neighbor, I guess, used to have like a zoo or something like that. So the neighbor would bring Joe like these baby monkeys and cubs to bottle feed. And that is where Joe, I guess, developed his love for kitty cats and other animals. And, you know, it kind of seemed genuine at first. By episode 1, it seems like he has a love for the animals. But by the time you get to episode 6, or what did you say? Is it 6 or 7? 7?
Yeah, 7's the last one.
By the time you get there, you'll be like, okay, this dude, you know, your mind might change.
You got to feel for him, though, man. I mean, you got to think. I mean, I know, like, you know, towards the end, you know, he changed. But You know, he only changed because Carole pushed him to that point. None of this would have been an issue if Carole didn't make it an issue. You know, you got to think about how much money this dude's spending on food and shit a day for his tigers.
Not much.
And then he's paying court fees and shit.
Yeah,
you know, what? He says it's $3,000 a month to feed one cat.
$3,000 a year.
$3,000 a year for one cat, and he had over 200 animals.
Yeah, 227 tigers. He said that, he had, I guess, lots that had some cows on them, just like a few cows. And then also he said he would be in contact with a state trooper who would, like, notify him when, like, there was deer that was killed on the side of the road.
On the side of the road.
But then the best part was the Walmart expired meat truck. that
was the best.
Which I don't know if they got into that in the first episode, but I just felt like that was worth mentioning, just to kind of, you know, get you an idea of what to look forward to or whatever. But
spoiler alert: don't buy food at zoos.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say. If you go to
yeah.
Zoo, don't eat the food there. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna throw anything else out after that.
Spoiler alert, no pun intended. But all right, so. Man, I'm trying. Fuck. I need to You know what? Maybe this weekend I'm gonna try to get the time limit extended to more than just 45 minutes. I'm gonna do an hour. But anyways, I'm trying to run through these topics real quick so we can get to the end of the episode. But
yeah.
So Doc Antle is this. His name is Bhagavan Doc Antle, and he looks like this hippie polygamous dude. He looks like
John. I think he looks like John Travolta from Pulp Fiction.
Kind of, with gray hair.
With like the long hair comb back. He's got the goatee. I mean, I know he doesn't have the goatee, but just like how he is in that scene. Like when they're dancing and, you know, he takes the girl back to her house and everything after she ODs.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious how he was like telling the director, like, all right, I'm gonna go in my house and y'all go up to my door and knock on it and I'll let you in, and kind of show, like, he was basically directing his own shit when they got to that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Joe said, or Doc spends $10,000 a year on feeding, I guess, a tiger, and then Joe, you know, it flashes Joe saying he has spends $3,000, and that it would take 30 cows a day if he fed the tigers nothing but cows, which you know, that kind of made me think that, you know, that might not actually be the worst thing to do, like, as far as, like, if you had grass, because I don't know, that's kind of like the circle of life. If you had a whole bunch of cows on a pasture, you just let a cow go and then let the tiger fucking have at, like, each, you know, tiger fucking have at it. But so Joe also was going to, like, not even high schools, man. Joe was going to, like, elementary schools and talking to elementary school kids. I don't know why, like, maybe just because he had to zoo, but he was going to elementary school kids, talking to them about not to do drugs. And like, they had this video of 2004 where they're like, don't do drugs, kids, because drugs make your teeth rot out, and they make you ugly, and then you'll have no friends. And it's
and then they like, fast forward a picture of John.
Yeah, exactly. His husband.
3 teeth. And one is in the front left, the other is front right, and the other one is like way back left.
Poor guy, man.
He's got his teeth fixed now, though, man. You know, hey, you know, I don't want to ruin what the guy's doing with his life, but hey, he's not. You know, he's in a better place than Joe. We'll say that.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
his situation's better than Joe's.
I'd like to review each one of these episodes. That shit would be funny.
Dude, I'm so down, dude. I mean, it's crazy, dude. Everyone's going to love it. I mean, this is all everyone's talking about.
So we got like 4 minutes left. So at one point, there's people, or they were going to the malls. Joe Exotic was going to malls and doing these cub petting shows, and they had 14 people crammed in a semi truck with the animals. And Carole Baskin, that bitch, as Joe would say, hired someone to, like, basically do some PI work and follow Joe around and figure out which malls, like, he was going to, and they would call Carole Baskins would use her, like, social media following and get all these emails sent to these malls being like, you know, don't have this guy here. It's like, basically like shaming them for
just
having the cub
bashing
petting.
him, yeah, saying like he sells baby cubs. Joe Exotic's bad. He's a bad influence. Like he shouldn't like be around kids. Shit like that. She would just use her community to make him look bad and make him lose out on money and, you know, basically cut out on his business is what she would do.
Dude, fucking that's exactly what she would do. And so yeah, it gets really personal starting out in episode 1. His little leg brace though, his little leather leg brace with
he's always limping.
yeah, with his limp. Like I feel like there's times that he wasn't limping. Like I feel like he sometimes puts it on like
he's on meth, bro. He's not feeling shit. You can tell when he's on meth because his sunglasses are on.
Yeah, that one dude, Erik, he always had the glasses on.
Oh,
bro.
every time they talked to him, dude, he was smoking the cigarette every time with these glasses in the shade, so you couldn't even see his face.
Mm-hmm. I know what's going on behind those shades, bro.
That's the Craigslist guy. I mean, come on. Why else are you looking for a job on Craigslist? Let's not beat around the bush.
Dude, Erik looks like his weekly diet was a gram of meth and 1 Tic Tac for the whole week.
Seriously, that dude was eating the meat off the truck. You know, the employees did. That's crazy. You know, they would take the meat off that truck. That is disgusting. Just kill me now. That's why I cut it out.
So did you see where they were talking about like on like the Today or one of these like night talk show TV shows? They had like they're showing that people have been posing with tigers for Tinder and like OkCupid, like it was some sort of trend for people to be posing with like tigers in these baby cubs.
Yeah, I did see that.
I mean, I don't use that shit like any at this point, at this age in my life or whatever. I'm not saying I never will again, but yeah, no, I don't go on Tinder, so I never really saw it. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. They had all these people's Tinder profile pictures with tigers and tiger cubs. But so Doc Antle, his he was like a hippie cowboy, but he said that he went to Yogaville, which was in Buckingham, Virginia. And I wanted to look up this place because I've never even heard of Yogaville before. I think Buckingham's probably in Western Virginia, but I don't know. I thought that was crazy. Also, Doc, he
they refer to Ohio too in the documentary, which
yes, they do. Zanesville, Ohio.
Actually, my girlfriend's one of her friends, or actually 2 of her friends, are actually from that area.
Which is that's pretty wild, dude. Doc was saying how he has like 500 movies across the world that his tigers have been used in. Ace Ventura, The Jungle Book, Dr. Dolittle, Mighty Joe Young. So he says 500, but he lists like 5. So I don't know what that's all about. Joe Exotic was saying that by the time the cubs are 6 weeks, you could make $100,000 off them. So at this point, you know, this is towards the end of the episode. You should really be realizing that there's like money into it. And the lifespan is really only up until 12 weeks. By the time they get to 12 weeks, they're too dangerous to have around people for cub petting. And there's no regulation like on this shit. So people are making $100,000, you know, off of 1 cub if you have the right setup. And the lifespan basically is 12 weeks until you got to just stick them in like a fucking crate or shoot them or something like that. It was so sad to watch them just pacing around. That was one thing that was so sad, man, just to watch them pacing.
It's like the sad Sarah McLachlan commercials, man.
On meth.
I mean, you just see the tigers, they're just like staring at you, and you're just like, oh my god. But then like they look so loving, like when they're with the keepers and Joe and everything, like, dude, oh my god, dude, they're like laying with them, just like rubbing their belly and shit like that. And you know, I don't know about you, but I like hairy animals. I got a hairy cat at home.
I love cats, man.
Yeah, she's a long-haired cat, and you know I love it. And dude, I could only imagine rubbing like a tiger, dude. That would be like the softest thing in the world. I'd have to put my face on its belly, dude. I'd have to. You know, oh my god, I'd love it.
Hey, it would be cool, but I mean, I think that the reason why these animals is because, I mean, first of all, that's all they know, and second, that's the person that feeds them. You know what I mean? Don't bite the hand that feeds you. So I think. And I mean, you'll see in later episodes, there are definitely tigers that do attack them. But so we're getting close to our time limit. But I did want to talk about the Zanesville, Ohio, where this dude released 1 baboon, 3 mountain lions, and 18 tigers.
Oh, yeah. And out of his backyard, you know, and the cops and everything, you know, they shot him. They killed him, you know. And the guy said that he did it on purpose, you know, when they arrested him.
Dude, when the cop says, like 18 tigers, like he says, like he's like, and 18 tigers, and he like looks at the camera and he has like this crazy look on his face, like I can't believe this shit.
Dude, yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot that's what happened there. That shit's crazy. Dude, Ohio's crazy, dude. We had Harambe in Cincinnati, dude.
Really? Oh God!
Remember the monkey with that little kid?
The one that killed it.
Yeah, the one that killed the kid. That was in Cincinnati, Ohio, dude. Ohio's got some crazy shit with these animals, dude. I'm telling you.
I think the parent killed the kid in that circumstance.
Yeah, the parent. That's a terrible parent. That parent should be locked up because she let her kid go in a monkey pen. Kidding me? This isn't fucking Donkey Kong. This is real life.
Poor kid to have such stupid parents. But all right, so hopefully we can get this in. I don't know how far we can go over the time limit, but Joe was saying that to CBS, when CBS was like interviewing him, he was saying that if anyone tries to take my animals, he's like, yeah, it is a ticking time bomb, because if anyone tries to come in here and take my animals, it's gonna be a small Waco. Like, and the CBS dude was like, oh, that's a pretty heavy statement.
Yeah, like this guy's gonna shoot up everybody.
Oh, dude! And then Joe made a pact with John Reinke, or they made a pact with each other, saying if
they would kill each other, right?
Yeah, that they would shoot each other. And I'm like, how the fuck do you shoot each other at the same time and guarantee the other person's gonna die? Like, what do you
they
do?
had the bullets with their names written on them. Remember, sharpied on them. Their names were sharpied on them.
Yup, that shit is crazy, dude.
Dude, that's a life, bro. That's commitment.
So the episode pretty much ends with Joe saying like some eerie shit like, before you bring me down, it's my belief that you will stop breathing, talking to Carole Baskins. He also ships snakes to Carole Baskins in the mail, which I think he probably had someone just drop them off in the mailbox. He probably didn't actually ship it, because that probably would, get him caught. But yeah, so that was kind of crazy. And then he gets like some 100 rounds of 223 at the end. And then the gun store salesman's like, do you need any explosives today?
He buys it at Walmart. First of all, let's get that cleared. He's buying these explosives over the counter at Walmart.
Dude, is dynamite legal in Ohio? What the fuck? Or Oklahoma?
You can't even buy fireworks in Ohio, dude. No way. I can't. It just blows my mind that he bought it at Walmart. Of all places, Walmart.
Hey, Wally World. But so yeah. Yes. What were you gonna say, bro?
No, I was just agreeing with you. The type of shit you see at Walmart, man.
Yeah, it's the fucking people of Walmart. So the episode basically ends with Joe calling from the Grady County Jail and saying, "You know why animals die in cages? It's because their soul dies." And he says, "Before it's over with, I'm gonna shut down everybody." And that's pretty much how the episode ends. And then in the credits, he's promoting his Tiger King skincare. I don't know if you saw that part.
Yeah, he's got condoms. He's got everything.
Yes, well, we did it, bro. We made it through the entire first episode of Tiger King. So that's pretty much the interesting parts of it. That gives you guys a synopsis, or a good review, funny review, hopefully, if you've already seen it. But Smoke Blunt, thank you for doing this with me. Would you like to do a part 2 at some point later, maybe next week or something? I'm
down, dude. I love the Tiger King.
Hell yeah.
Let's get him free, dude. The quick thing before we go, man. It's crazy that this documentary came out, because when this shit was going on, like in 2012, 2014, like, how come I never heard about this shit on the news?
Yeah,
I mean, the guy ran for president. I've never heard anything about that. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know how they hid that from like the general public.
It's a conspiracy, man.
Dude, it's crazy. They only want you to know about it now.
All right, well, Strictly Baked, thank you for listening in on our antics.
Dude, I don't know shit about the Tiger King, man.
You sound like Bane over there.
Yeah, dude, I didn't know.
He can't hear himself. It's all
No,
good.
you're good, bro.
He is Shoshan, the elegant, the Tiger King. But all right, guys, time to get off and play some RuneScape or something. Peace.
Peace.